So this training is going to cover a couple of things. Some software applications. There's a My E911 software application and the Cisco Jabber Softphone instant messaging client that we're going to cover. Everybody should have the software loaded on their computer, I believe. That was done by desktop support, so that should be on your machine. That was done in the background. We also have training documents that have been sent out, and everything that I cover today will be in those training documents. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the My E911 client. And if you're not familiar with this, it's a software application that's used when you're telecommuting. If you happen to make a 911 call from your soft phone, from your Cisco Jabber, it sends the correct address to the emergency responders. I'm going to show you how to set all that up. If you are telecommuting, you need to be on the VPN. The Global Protect VPN is required for the teleworking for both the My E911 and the Cisco Jabber. So make sure that you have that VPN logged in and ready to go when you open the application. The My E911 is only really used for your telecommuting when you're not at a state building. We have another 911 feature that we're working on with the VoIP that will send the correct information, and it is pretty much running at most state buildings. It will be live at the TSOB, and so if you're working in the office and you're on the state network, you don't need to worry about using the My E911 client. So I have the icon here, but you can also search for it. My E911. I'm going to go ahead and open this. And what it's going to do is it's going to open up and then run in the background because it has all my information in there. So you can see it down here in my taskbar here. I'm going to go ahead and bring that back up. I'm going to log out and show you what it looks like when you first log in. So when you first get the screen, you're going to have some fields here that are going to be pre-populated. The primary server and the backup server, those should always be populated. There's a package that we've added those in there so you don't have to add those in every time. And then you'll log in with your username. And the first time you log in, you're going to log in with a temporary password. And it's the word password with a capital P, the number 1 and $sign. And I believe that that's all provided in the training information. So that will be your first time login, and then it's going to have you create a new passcode. There's some characters that you need to use, those uppercase, I believe, numbers and a special character. All those should be included in that training document. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and it's going to pop in and run back in the background. It's kind of how that works. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Go over just a few things. It's pretty basic software. My status, this shows to where my current location is. If I was to send out my address, this is what it would send. My locations, we're going to go over this, and I'll show you how to create a location. Settings, this is where you can change your password. About shows me as my logged in as my username and my primary and backup server. Someone had mentioned that they recommend actually taking a screenshot of this information just in case you had problems with your My E911 and that information didn't populate, or you needed to open a ticket with the help desk. This might be helpful information. And then we have the log out, but we're not going to log out at this time. So I'm going to go back to my locations, and I already have one created. There is a personal and a corporate tab. We've preloaded the corporate tab with everything that we have rolled out so far with the state VoIP conversion that we have the My E911 on. So there's tons of information in here. Like I said, you shouldn't be doing this in case if there is a case where you happen to go to a building that doesn't have the address in here, then you'll want to go ahead and log into the My E911. For the personal locations, you go ahead and hit the location, create location, and then there's some fields with yellow asterisks. These are required fields. So you would go ahead and enter your street number. And the prefix is like the north, south, east, and west. Street name. Street type is like a drive or a circle or a boulevard. Drive. And suffix is if there's another northeast, south, or west as part of the address. We have the city, the state, then the name is what you want to be able to visually recognize that this is the site that I've created. So this one I'm going to call as my alternate office. Go ahead and hit the add location. So now when I log in, and depending on where I'm telecommuting, I can choose which location I'm at. And you can create as many of these as you need depending on where you move around to and where you happen to be using the application. One thing that I did want to mention was on the passcode. Once you do change that from the temporary passcode, it will not expire. It doesn't expire every 90 days like the rest of the passwords do. So that's kind of nice for this one. Does anyone have any questions about the My E911 client or what it functions as? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just minimize that. The next thing we're going to go over is the Cisco Jabber instant messaging and Softphone. Again, this is VPN is a requirement when you're telecommuting. Headset is required, and it's basically a tool that allows for instant messages and voice calls from your computer without the need for a physical desk phone. So what we'll do is we'll go over the basic functionality. We'll pause and answer questions as necessary. There is a few videos out there that you can watch. We're going to be recording this one so you can reference it. If you have the icon on your screen, you can go ahead and open it from there. If not, I can always search by Cisco, by Jabber. Go ahead and open that up from there. I want to show you this. This popped up because I had my E911 open when I opened my Jabber. And this will happen every time that you are currently have the E911 software up. It wants to verify my last location. So it recognizes that my soft phone's been loaded and about to be used. So it will pop up and have you confirm that address that you put in. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And the sign-in is your local or your LAN ID, what you use to log into your computer in the morning. Oh, if I could type correctly.
Uh-oh, Travis.
So far, so good. Well, when it makes you change it every so often, you have to come up with something creative. I forgot to delete these. Let me just do this real quick. Well, this is what you'll see when you log in to your Cisco Jabber Softphone. The Cisco Jabber Softphone ties into the Utah Master Directory, or the UMD. That's where it pulls a lot of its information. And we'll go over that and kind of show you what that looks like. I'm going to briefly be going over these icons on the side, and then we'll loop back around in the training and cover what each of the functionality is of those. The first one being status. It shows I'm in a meeting currently. My profile, this is what I have entered into the UMD, or the master directory. This is where I can go to change, add, any edit. There's settings. You can reach settings from here, and there's another place you can reach settings is from the gear and settings, and we'll be talking about settings soon. And then you can sign out. We'll go over this status thing here shortly. This is my contacts, and this is where you add new contacts and custom contacts. I'll show you how to do that. Chats, these are the chats that I've had recently open. These are the people that I've been instant messaging with. You can see there's some status and see if they're available. This next one down is rooms, and these need to be created through our voice operations team through a ticket to DTS. But what it basically is a chat room. So I'm a member of this one, and it has all of my coworkers in here, and our supervisor, and we use this to chat with each other. So if you did want to create one of those, you could just submit a ticket and let them know, the users, that you wanted to be part of a room, and probably what the name of the room would be. This next one down is my call history. This is very useful. You can filter it by all outgoing, incoming, and missed. As you can see, I have a lot of missed calls. We'll go over this here in a minute. This calendar function is still under development, and it's something that we're working on rolling out. The Cisco Jabber software will integrate with the Google Calendar, and you can have your calendar invites synchronized with the Cisco Jabber, but it's still in development, so you may or may not have this icon on your screen. This is my voicemail, the little cassette tape, and we'll be talking more about this. I can also filter my voicemails. This last one here is your hunt group. If you are a member of a hunt group, it depends on your job requirements, and your supervisor should be able to help you out with that. And this is where you'd come to log in to a hunt group or call pickup group. Does anyone have any just questions over those icons? And like I said, we'll be dive in deeper into those or any other questions at this time? Okay, this little green computer got, no, sorry, I was going to go into the status. So the status, it comes with some pre-populated statuses. You have your green and your orange and your red, and you can choose them. You can create custom statuses. If I say I'm away, there's good chance that you're not going to be able to get me. If I'm doing Jabber training, and the do not disturb one is a good one to point out, because if you're in do not disturb, you won't receive any phone calls. They'll go directly to your voicemail. You also won't receive any chat messages, that icons or alerts. You'll still receive the chat, but it won't, you won't get a pop-up or have the audible notification that you have an instant message. So if you happen to create a do not disturb that you're in, and you find that down the road that your phones aren't ringing in and you're not receiving messages, just go ahead and check this and make sure that it's set to something that's other than do not disturb. So just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and go to available and have Chrissy send me a chat. See how that pops up here, and I got a little ding in my ear, notifying me that I had a chat. Now if I was in do not disturb and she sent me one, all it did was increment my screen that I had another chat there. I didn't get the second message. So I'm going to go back into training. Did anyone have any questions on the status?
So, Travis, did you say you didn't get her chat?
No, I did get the chat, but I don't get the bubble that pops down, like, and like pops down from the top of the screen that shows her message. All it does is increment over here on the chat that it shows that I have a message, but I don't get the ding in my ear, or I don't get the little bubble that pops down when you're in anything other than do not disturb.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk about is this little green computer icon here. If it's red, then there's some issues going on, and we'll go over those. But when it's green, this is where you determine where you want your calls to ring in to your device. So if anyone here has a desk phone and a soft phone, you can choose where your calls ring in. Do they ring into your computer? Do they ring into your soft phone? If you don't have a computer or a desk phone, that option won't be available. I personally like to keep mine at my computer. We'll talk about forwarding calls here shortly. Next thing I'd like to go over some settings. Like I said, you can reach settings from here, or you can go to the gear and go to settings. Start Cisco Jabber when my computer starts. And the reason we like to bring this up is if you are telecommuting, you have to log into your VPN, you have to log into your My E911, and then you can log into your Cisco Jabber. And the reason that's recommended is that that's the best way to ensure full functionality of the software. Jabber will start without a VPN, but you may run into issues. So you may not want you may not want this when you're working remotely. If you happen to be in the office though, and you go ahead and have that start when your computer starts, so you don't have to remember to log into your Jabber. That's there. And spell check. If you happen to be typing instant messages and there's red lines and it shows errors, make sure you come check this, make sure it's set correctly, or else you're going to start getting errors. And whenever you make a change in the settings, you always want to click the apply and then the OK button to save that. Scroll ahead on my slides a little bit. The next one I'd like to go in the settings is the audio settings. And this controls all the points of audio for your Jabber Softphone. As you have your ringers and your speaker and your microphone. I don't know why that's turned all the way down, but you can control the volume here. And ringers and alerts, so I have a couple of different options. I can have it ring to my all devices, my headset or my speakers. I currently like to have mine to all devices. If I have my headset on, I get a ring indicator. If I take my headset off because I don't want to wear it all day, it rings to my computer speakers so I can quickly put my headset on and answer the call. The speaker is where I'll hear the audio from the caller. There's a little test here. You can hit that and it'll play a tone in your ear, kind of give you a little play with and adjust the volume. Again, you can set that to speakers or your headphones. I like to keep everything on my headphones, my headset. Microphone is where I can send my audio. This usually, I'm not going to mess with it because you guys can hear me now, but this is usually open and there's the little line here that moves up and down when I send audio. So it's kind of a test of whether you're sending audio. Does anyone have any questions on those? When you connect a new microphone or speaker to your computer, Jabber will switch to the new microphone or speaker or keep the current microphone or speaker. I personally like to keep the current microphone or speaker because I have that set up the way I like it. If I happen to be testing a new device or a new headset and I plug that in and I have that switched, it'll switch over to that. So that's just based on your preference. If you're probably not going to be switching out a bunch of peripherals, but that is there to keep in mind. And then the advanced settings here. This is arrange your audio devices in order of preference. So one of the changes that I made on the other screen, I have my ringers and alerts to my headset first, and then my speakers, my speaker, my headset, and then my speakers. If I wanted to change that, I could highlight that and move that down. And then that would put my speakers as my preference and my headset as the secondary. Same with the microphone. If you ran into any issues with your headset, it would default to the next one that's in line. One more quick thing I'd just like to show you on settings is under accounts. And this is where it logs in to use the different services. These are all your LAN ID, your utah.gov email and your LAN password. If any of these are red, that means that there's something's not right and you need to probably sign in again. These passwords do expire on the 90 days. So once that comes that you have to change your passcode, it'll let you log in for the first time. And then you go ahead and come in here and update it here. And I'm going to show you something later on about the voicemail server set or the login settings on there as well. Any changes they've made, click apply and then OK. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to talk about making a call. You can make a call from up here or this little hub type guy that you can slide around the top of your screen or the bottom right of your screen. There's a few types of phone calls that I'd like to go over, and the first method I'd like to show you is just entering in the number. So say that I'm in the TSOB and I'm calling someone down the row and we're all in the same building. I can make a 5-digit extension call. I could type that out, and if I needed to, like I said, call someone within the building, you guys are all on a 5-digit dialing. If I'm calling someone who's on the Cisco VoIP network, I only need the 10 digits. The majority of the buildings are now on this phone system, this VoIP phone system. So dial the 10 digits. Like say, for instance, I'm calling to the MESOB. I know they're on the Cisco network. Dial the 10 digits, and we recommend that you do that whenever possible. That keeps all the calls on our network secure. No calls need to be made out to the outside phone company, and it just keeps everything local. If I needed to call out to somebody who I know is outside of the network, I'm going to still need to use that 9 like we do, and then dial the number. If I need to call long distance, local or out of state, need to put that 1 in there. I can go ahead, and once I have the number populated, I can hit the enter button or I can hit the green call button, and that will make the call. So that works for 5-digit, 10-digit, the 9, any of those numbers. You can see it's brought up a bunch of pre-populated numbers that I've most recently dialed if I needed to choose one of them. The next thing I'd like to show you is tied to the Utah master directory, and I can search by name. There's Chrissy. So I can come over here, click that button. This is the numbers that she has populated in the Utah master directory. I know that that's a local VoIP number, so I could just go ahead and click that one and call her. Or I know that her mobile number is outside of the VoIP network and it's going to need that 9. So what I would do is I would right click, come to call with edit, choose her mobile number. It puts that call string in the display, move the cursor to the front, 9, and then the 1 if necessary for long distance. Hit the call button or just hit enter and it'll make that call. So again, Rachel, see what number she has. Oh, she has a mobile number. So I'm going to right click that, go to the call with edit, choose her mobile, put the 9 in, go ahead and make the call. This also can be done from this widget here. If I need to make a call or a call with edit, I can do that from this screen as well. And that's how you make a call out. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Travis,
Okay,
this
yeah.
is Jill. So right now with the VIA, whenever we call a team member, we're just having to call the 5 digits. So once we're at TSOB, if we're all off site, like we are right now, we will need to do all 10 digits, correct?
If you're anyone who's in the TSOB should be able to 5-digit dial each other directly. But
But if
if
we're
you're
not in TSOB, if I'm at my home and someone else is in TSOB or they're at their home, then it has to be 10 digits, but
yes,
without the number 9 first.
correct, yes. 10,
If you're
10,
calling, sorry, Travis, if you're calling from your soft phone
Uh-huh.
to somebody at the TSOB, you can still 5-digit dial because your TSOB number is going to be considered within the TSOB. So whether you're using it on your soft phone or your physical desk phone, it'll be one and the same. So you can 5-digit dial from your soft phone at home as long as you're dialing from your soft phone to the TSOB, another user at the TSOB that's in the same system. Does that
Okay,
make
thank you.
sense?
Yes, that
Yeah,
was my question because that's what we're doing now. And I just wanted to know if we needed to add those extra digits or if we're still calling soft phone to soft phone, we can do 5 digits.
yes, because your new numbers that you'll be getting when you move are new TSOB numbers.
Okay.
does that answer that question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you for those involved.
So Travis, can I ask a question?
Yes,
You know that little widget that you showed?
yes.
Should everybody have that on their soft phone?
I believe so. Yes, I've always had it.
Yes, Debbie, everybody should have that.
Okay, because I don't. So we can talk about that later, I guess.
Do you have your laptop with the lid closed, Debbie, and just working off your screen?
No, it's open.
Okay, it'll be on whatever's your main screen, but you only use one, don't you?
I only use one screen, yeah.
That's
Okay,
odd.
well, it should be there. I'm sorry, you're special.
Okay, it's all right.
We'll get a ticket going on that.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like to receive a call. Going to go ahead and send a call through. I'll get a pop-up here. I can answer, I can decline. For this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and decline. Now that doesn't tell the other party that I'm declining their call. It just sends it directly to my voicemail. I could have clicked answer and answered the call. So if I could get Chrissy to make me a call. So I have the same answer decline, but you can see I have a chat reply because she's on the Cisco Jabber network. So I could quickly hit the chat reply, say on call, sorry. Let her know that I'm not available. Go ahead and get another call set up here. Go ahead and answer that. So this is the screen where, let me mute, make sure.
That might have muted you out, Travis.
It does. You can't mute your calls while calling, or it mutes you for everybody on the call too in the recording.
Did that mute me?
Yes.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay, let's try that with Chrissy.
Yeah,
Go ahead and call
if
me.
you were saying something, we didn't hear any of it.
Okay. That's what I was afraid of. So let's try. I need a call up so I can show some things. So go ahead and call me Chrissy, and we'll see if we can do this again. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what it looks like when you're in the call screen. You have an option here to mute the audio. There's a camera feature if you're calling Cisco to Cisco Jabber and you both have a camera. You can share video. This will not work with like Zoom or Google Meets or any other video application. It's only on the Cisco Jabber to Jabber. There's a keypad in case I'm calling, hit an auto attendant or a call tree and I need to press 1 for so-and-so or 2 for so-and-so. And then I have more call controls here. This is where I need to, or this is where I can put that call on hold. And that person's going to hear our lovely hold music and they're on hold. And I can go ahead and bring them back just by hitting resume. I can do a transfer. And there's two types of transfers. There's a cold transfer or a warm transfer. Warm transfer being I announce the call and tell them who's on the line and see if they're ready to accept the call. Or a cold transfer, and I would just go ahead and hit the transfer button. That call would ring their desk like they're just receiving a call. So I click the transfer. I can type in here. I can type the number. I'm going to go ahead and try this. So you can see it's transferring. If I did answer the call, not sure how that. Can you still hear me? I can go ahead and hit that transfer the call, and then they have the call. If I need to bring that call back and they're not available, I just go ahead and hit the X, and that puts them in resume. And then I can resume my call with Chrissy again and say, or the customer, and say they're unavailable. Is there something I can help you with? If I happen to jump into another screen, you'll see that I get this other widget that pops up. Or if I'm in another screen in Jabber, I hit the return button, it brings me back to the call screen. I wasn't in the call screen. That shows my features. So if I happen to be in a document somewhere and I can't see my Jabber on screen, I can go ahead and hit return. It'll pop that back up. Or I can end the call from there. So we'll go ahead and keep that call up for a moment. Did anyone have any questions on transferring? Okay, now we're going to show conference. Conference brings up a whole new screen here. You can have a total of 6 people in a conference, yourself and 5 others. I can type the people's names if they're in the UMD. I can start stacking them. And I can stack as many as I need, and then I can just call them to join. Once I call them, it will, and they answer, brings up a little green door, and you can connect that call. I'm going to actually try this. Can I call you, Debbie, and see if we can get this to work?
Yes. Hello.
So now Debbie's answered. To put the other call on hold, I click the green door. Now we're all in a conference together. Now, where I'm the host of the call, I can disconnect the call and it will keep all the other parties still in the call. I don't need to stay on the line. If you need to invite a participant who's outside of the UMD, though, you will still need to manually dial that number and then do the same process, call them, wait for them to join, click the green door. You can right click and remove people from the conference. And then you can do this, like I said, up to 5 people. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that call. That should keep Chrissy and Rachel on the, or Debbie, I apologize, on the call. Did anyone have any questions about conferencing? Okay, the next thing I'd like to show you is call forwarding. Call forwarding is done through the little computer guy again, and I can forward my calls. I can forward them directly to voicemail, and this is kind of like being in Do Not Disturb. All my calls will go directly to my voicemail. I can just go ahead and click that to turn that off. If I needed to forward to my cell phone, I could go ahead and create a new number. I could use put the 9 in. So make sure I get an outside line. I have my calls forwarded to this test number that I have set up, but I could do the same thing for someone who's covering for me, or if you're sending it to your cell phone and you're going to be out of the office. One thing to note is that even once my Jabber is closed, my computer is closed, and everything's logged out, the call forwarding still stays up. So I still will have those calls forwarded to my cell phone unless I bring them back like that. Anyone have any questions on call forwarding?
Travis, this is Jill again. So
Hi,
currently
Jill.
we can forward, Steve Gooch is my backup whenever I'm off. Can I forward with the 5 digits? Just click forward and whatever his digits are.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, and we're going to go over contacts. This is what you'll see when you first open your screen. Let me get caught up here a little bit. My slides. So I go ahead and click add a contact, type the name, who I'm looking for, Alicia. Go ahead and double click. Now she needs to be added to a group, so I don't have any created yet, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new group. So I'm just going to call this my contacts. Go ahead and create that. Add. There's Alicia. She's in my group now. I can also search from up here. Debbie. I have a little guy here. I can just go ahead and hit add. And let's say I want to customize this. I'll do a new group and do project managers. Go ahead and create that. Add. Now you can see Debbie's in my PM group. If they're not in the Utah Master Directory, then you need to create a custom contact. And that can be done by going to the gear, to file, new, custom contact. And this is kind of like a business card. This is kind of like what you would see if they were in the UMD. You can do their display name, first name, information that you want to see here. If you wanted to be able to get their email address from here, their title, company, and all that stuff. It really depends on, I think all you need is the display name and the phone number. So you can change it from work phone, mobile phone, home phone. So I know I have the work phone. He's an outside vendor, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 9 in there. Then the other thing I want to do is I want to add his number about the 9. So that way when I get an inbound call from Chris, it pops up in my display as him. So that recognizes that caller ID, and I know that that's Chris calling. He also has mobile phone. And I don't want to add him to my contacts or my project management group. I want to add a new group here. As a vendor. Go ahead and create. So now you'll see I have Chris here. And when I click on his number, I can easily call the 9 with the 9. That was the one for his caller ID, and I have his mobile phone there available as well with the 9. Did anyone have any questions on adding a contact or adding a custom contact? Alrighty. Next thing I'd like to talk to you about is voicemail. Oh, actually, no, we need to go to the chat feature. So the chat feature just works like normal chat room. You can search for someone. Want to chat with Alicia, chat from there. My recent messages, Chrissy. And my room here. So you can see I had a pop up and an alert that Chrissy had reached out to me. So Abby, I can chat her from here. Type. And that's where you can send the instant messaging as the part of the client. Okay, now we'll go into voicemail. Cisco voicemail, the platform, the software platform is called Unity, and you have to have your mailbox set up in Unity before you can use it. You can do this 2 ways. You can do it from your desk phone by pressing the messages button, or you can do it from your soft phone. Let's go into voicemail here and call voicemail. First thing that it's going to do is ask me for my PIN. My PIN is my temporary password. I'm going to go ahead and enter that in. It's the 123412. Once I have that entered, it's going to have me do a few things. It's going to force me to change my passcode. There are some requirements of what the passcode is, so make sure that you read through those. It's going to have you record your first and last name, and then we recommend you record a personal greeting. After you've done all those things, make sure you hear the voice say that you've completed registration before you hang up, or else you'll have to do all those steps again. Once I have all that set up, should be able to come here and view my voicemails. Now, if they're not here, one thing I would suggest checking is back here in the settings under the accounts. And if this voicemail is red, it means that it's not logged in properly and it's not going to display on your screen. So make sure that you have that logged in correctly. But now I have all my messages here. The ones in black are unread. You can filter by unread. If I get a message and I want, this is one that was actually forwarded to me, I can hit the play button, maybe. Hit the play button. I can listen to that message. I can pause it. Say, for instance, they say a phone number and I didn't quite catch it. I can back it up a little bit. Hit play again, get that phone number, listen to the whole message, hit stop. You can also reply and forward to a message. On both of these, you can record an intro just by pressing this button here. It counts down to 3. Well, let's say I want to forward a message to Chrissy. I can count down, have it count down a message to me. Say, hey, Chrissy, I believe that this is more suited for you. This person's in need of help, and I don't think I can help him. And then once that's recorded, I can also put a subject. Oops. And then I could send that to Chrissy. Go ahead and hit send, and then she'll get that. It'll play the intro. And play the message. If I happen to listen one and I don't have time for it now, I can right click and you can do all those things here, send, forward, reply. There's lots of things that you can do, but I can mark it as unread. And then I can, when I go back to filter my unread, it's back in my box and I can remember to listen to it again. Does anyone have any questions on voicemail?
Oh, maybe I could say that document that Travis was referring to, that he brought up that had the default password on it for voicemail. That was in the documents that I send everybody, like right before lunch today. So that's the voicemail document.
And doing everything in Jabber is so much easier than in the actual mailbox to like send. It's a sequence of keys that you have to press, and it's just so much nicer to just have them all here, see them, listen to them, stop them, pause them, all of those things. It's a very nice feature of the Cisco Jabber. I don't know if we need to bring this up or not, but the UMD, to get into the UMD, you go into login.utah.gov, and that way you can put your new phone number in there because you're changing numbers. And unless anyone has any questions, I believe that's all the material that I have for today.
I think, Jill, that like for insurance, your department is making arrangements to have those new numbers added, right? With the new address and stuff.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I think we're working on that.
All right. So the individuals won't have to do that themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate everybody's time, and I guess I can go ahead and stop the recording unless we had any other questions.
Travis, do
Yes.
you know, with this system, like when we're wearing the headsets, can we answer from the headset?
That's a good question. I don't believe that that function is available. I think you actually have to click on the bubble to
Okay.
answer. But let me write that down and we'll look into that.
That would be great, especially, you know, when I'm working from home. I don't want to have to let my backups, they want all of my calls answered live, but I don't want to always have to let my backup know I'm just walking in the other room to get a drink of water.
Right,
So I would
exactly.
like to answer from my headset rather than forward it each time and make sure someone's covering. And sometimes it makes my headset not even worth it. I just forward to a phone so I don't miss it. But then you have the downside of not being able to forward once I pick up the call, you know, transfer.
Yes, it may be a different style of headset that has, like on mine, I have like a mute and volume control. Looks like I even have an answer from mine. I wonder if that
Mine
works.
does have it on my headset. I've got both the Jabra and I've had the Plantronics, but I was
Okay,
unable, although that is a feature, if I used it with my cell phone, I could answer it, but if I use it with the soft phone, I couldn't. So if, you know, if that's an option, it would be great. It makes the headset so valuable.
okay. Debbie, you're not aware of anything like that, are you?
Well, I would think that if she can, you know, do it with her PC, she should be able to do it with her soft phone.
Right. So is it like a Bluetooth headset?
Yes, it is.
Maybe it's just a setting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works fine as a Bluetooth, but we've never been able to get it to work with a VIA. I do have, when I'm in the office at the building, a thing where I'm wearing the headset and it basically lifts the receiver and I can answer. And even that was more beneficial because I could tell the person,
Right.
hold just a moment while I get to the right location, you know, to take this message or to transfer you.
Yeah, so when you're in the office, Jill, on your VoIP phone, we ordered you that special cord.
So it will do it on that.
So you will be able to do that on the VoIP phone, yes.
Okay. But on the headset, we really don't know when I'm telecommuting.
Yeah, and we could try that in the office. Teresa and I will be there on the 15th.
Uh-huh.
We could try it with your soft phone and see how it works.
That would be great. I will
Okay.
be there. Okay, thank you. That's my only question. Thanks.
Okay, were there any other questions? Can I go ahead and stop?
We have a real
the
quiet
recording?
group today.
Very